Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Topeak TailLux 40DF bike taillight. The Topeak TailLux 40DF is a bright and compact taillight designed specifically to work with the Topeak Duo Fixer mounting system. If you're not familiar with the system, it's a saddle rail mount design that offers two attachment points, an upper and a lower. You can see our video for the full explanation of the product lineup. This taillight uses the upper slot of the Duo Fixer and offers a really modern taillight that hides underneath your saddle. In terms of packaging, you can see you have the traditional yellow and white. The Topeak is known for a nice graphic of the taillight, specs on the side with the runtime, and some of the explanation of the Duo Fixer mounting system on the rear. We'll go ahead and take it out of the box and go over the specs. Retail price on this is $44.95. As the name implies, it is a 40 lumen taillight with a 1 LED setup. This is part of the Duo Fixer mounting system lineup and includes the Duo Fixer mount with it as well. So if you already have it, you get a second one. It is a cable-free charging design. So there is no USB port on here. The connector is actually built directly in here. So you can plug this into your USB Type-A port and charge it without having to worry about cables. You have 40-hour runtime thanks to the built-in 160 milliamp battery that's directly integrated on the inside of it. And then a simple 3-mode selection from the 1-button interface. So you can cycle through a constant mode, a flash mode, and a pulse mode. In terms of what comes with it, again, you get the taillight. You get the mounting bracket, which is the second piece. You get the full Duo Fixer mount here as well, with the little quick release on the upper attachment, and then the quick connect slot for the bottom. You also get an instruction manual in here. And again, no charging cable because you just don't need it. So here you can see the multi-language instruction that explains how to operate it and all the specifications. Now let's take a look at the weight of the taillight. So the taillight by itself, that comes in at 28 grams. If you're using the Duo Fixer bracket, that is an additional 32. The Topeak TailLux 40DF has a sleek torpedo-like shape that hides underneath your saddle. You can see the round lens at the end, then almost an elliptical shape at the base. It is a simple plastic construction, which keeps it nice and light, and has a matte finish. You have TailLux 40DF printed on the top, and then the Topeak logo on the backside, which you don't really see when it's installed. It is a 2-piece design, so you have the lens and battery, and then if you rotate this counterclockwise and then pull out, you can see you have the actual light and battery, and then the base. The base is what connects to the Duo Fixer mounting system, so they include the bracket with this taillight. This uses the upper slot, so you can see it slides in and attaches to the upper portion. Then you have the quick release bottom slot, which you can use for saddlebags or a ton of other accessories. Removing it requires just pressing that release button, and you can see all that does is pull a tab out of this little cutout, which you can also see here. It's a very simple design and works well, especially with these lightweight components. What's cool about this is you have the USB port directly built in, so no charging cables required. All it requires is a USB Type-A port, so something that's really common on your computer or other charging locations. There's 2 little line indicators on the base to help you line it up. So you want the logo side up with the brand on there. And then you can see a little arrow indicator. You want to line that up with the solid line. That indicates unlocked. Push it in. And then rotate it to the circle. And that indicates it's locked into place. And it's pretty cool. So you have a little O-ring in here, and it's very reminiscent of the Light Motion taillights and other products we've seen on the market. The coolest part about this, though, is really the Duo Fixer system. You can see with it installed, nice and secure and lightweight, and it really hides behind your saddle rails as it's quite compact and lets you put saddlebags or anything else you need on your bike without compromising visibility at night. The user interface on this is very simple. You have a constant mode, which looks a little bit flickery here on camera, flash mode, and then a constant / pulse. So it's constant, then it'll pulse up and down. So pretty decent runtime on these as well. There is no mode memory. You always have to press until you get back to off mode. So it's a little bit inconvenient, but requires at least 3 clicks to turn it on and then turn it back off. TailLux has 3 different output modes. You have constant, which is good for 10 lumens and 3.5 hour runtime. Flash, which achieves the highest 40-hour runtime and is also 10 lumen. And then pulse, which is the brightest at 40 lumen and 20 hour, and that goes from a low to a high. As you can see here, the lens is actually curved, so you do have side visibility, which is a nice bonus. So when you're at an intersection or side angles, people can still see you. Now at only 40 lumens, the TailLux is not daytime bright, but you can see here at sunset or early morning and low visibility type conditions, you're still definitely visible and the flash mode captures your attention. So it's definitely a great option for commuting or urban riding, and the quick release mount style is very convenient, so you just put it in there and then pull it out when you want to charge it. Now let's compare the TailLux 40 with other taillights on the market. This reminds us most of the Via Light Motion series. You can see. Now let's compare the TailLux 40 with other taillights on the market. This reminds us most of the Light Motion Via series. You can see it has a long, elongated design. This one is a switch with the power button, but the other ones have no button at all. They have an ambient light sensor. So they're a lot smarter, and at 90 lumens, it's brighter too. You can just see that from the camera. At direct angles, it's very bright, so you can be seen from a further distance. They also have this cool pulsing mode, so you can see it's irregular, so it catches your eye a little bit more than a constant flash that you see with most lights. So this is just on off. Obviously, but again, more expensive and doesn't really work with the cool duo fixer mount design. You have to use this little rubber bracket and attach it somewhere. There are a lot brighter taillights on the market as well. This is the Bontrager Flare RT. This has Bluetooth connectivity and again, ambient light sensor. So really bright, has that single LED here, little side windows, and a square profile, but again, uses a standard rubber bracket instead of the duo fixer design. Magicshine also has a lot of options, so if you want 200 lumens, you can actually get that at about $40. This is the 150. So 150 lumens, you can see quite a bit brighter. It has a battery status checker, which I really like. So if you press this, it'll turn either green, yellow, or red. That's a feature I would have liked to see here instead of just a low battery status indicator, which lights up the side of the TailLux. So this one, you can check it before you ride. Similar price, Magicshine is quite cheap, but again, you don't get the attachment point that the Topeak offers. And if you're looking for something bigger, you really can combine the TailLux with brighter daytime bright lights like the Bullet 200, which gives you 200 lumens, and cool form factors that are visible from almost any angle compared to the only curved lens of the TailLux. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the TailLux 40. What we like about it is that you have the sleek mounting thanks to the duo fixer upper slot mount. So it goes right underneath your saddle and looks really good. You also don't need a charging cable, as the USB slot is built into the light itself, so you just plug it in directly. And with that curved lens, it improves some of the side visibility and keeps you safe at night. The main cons for the taillight is the fact that there's no mode memory. You have to single press all the way from on back to off, which can be a little bit cumbersome, and it lacks a multi-level battery status indicator, just a low battery status light, which is really easy to miss. Taking everything into account would give the TailLux 40 an 8.3 out of 10. It's a convenient duo fixer taillight. It's not our favorite taillight on the market, but it works really well with the duo fixer bracket system. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.